Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Code. In this video, we are going to continue building our real-time chat application. So in previous video, we integrated the chat API and also we created the add user, the UI of add user and also integrated the add user API to the our front end. Okay, this one is working. If we you can see if we write any of the random email address and add the user not found, we got the error. So in this video, we are going to build the message API and also after building the API, we can integrate the API and also I want to redesign the UI of this message. Okay, before starting, please subscribe my channel and also like this video and watch till the end to understand all the concepts of socket.io and also the API integration and development part. And without wasting any time, let's get started. For the API of message, so here in the chats.js, right now we are storing the user message ID, last message and name for the connected users. If you remember, we also store the last message that is here and in UI we built a timestamp for that. So also we have to last time, okay, like this, and it's going to be date, okay. And also we have to remove this message ID, okay, and in the message schema, we are storing chat ID, sender ID, receiver ID. Right now, only this four, and also I want to install the last time. So yeah, it's going to be date, and default is going to be date dot now. Okay. So this is the last time, and what the message is, type of a string in the message, and the receiver ID, sender ID, chat ID. Okay. So now we have to create a route. Let's create a route. So in the routes folder, create a new file called messages.js. Okay. And here we have to const express is equal to require express. Yeah. And also const router from the express router and router. Okay. We have to module dot exports is equal to router. Okay. And also after the message we have to const require the message. Okay, this is the messages and also chat and also the user. So const user is equal to require user. Okay, let's require it here. And after that, okay, not the send, we have to create a one more controller. Let's create it. Controller name is send message.js like this. Okay, this is going to be so router dot post and send. Okay, send message. Okay, that's it. And async, we have request and response, and also yeah, request and response has a parameter. And before it, okay, here we have to authenticate it. So for that each, okay, so we have to require that is authenticated like this, not the helpers from the controller. So const something from require and okay, we have the controller. So in the controller we have is authenticated like this and is authenticated. Yeah, this is authenticated. Spelling is right. So it first to check for the user is logged in or not, and after that it requires the okay, it requires the chat ID, receiver ID, and message. So basically in the front end we send, okay, in the front end we have connected users and the connected users ID. So whatever user we clicked, we have that user ID under the user. So okay, we we have to find the chat ID. We have the receiver ID, and if we send a message, so we have a receiver ID, and yeah, and we have to send as a sender ID as our ID. So for that, we find that we find the receiver ID. Okay, this receiver ID and message. This is not the correct spelling. Okay, like this receiver ID and message from the request.body, and after it, okay, we have to send the message to. Okay, we have to find the chat ID and we have to send that message to the user and save that message to the messages. Here is the model messages schema. So for that, we can use the try catch block, and here it's going to be console.log the error we have and return with the status code of 500 and error message is internal server error. And here, first of all, we have to find the user ID. So const make it sender ID is equal to request.user.underscore ID, and okay, we have to find the user is exist or not. So const user is equal to a user await user dot find by ID, and that is the receiver ID, not user. Then we return the user not found. If we found the user, then we have to find the chat ID. If you can send in the message.js, we have a chat ID. So we have to find the chat ID, which chat ID it is, and also the sender ID we find. We have the receiver ID, we have the message, and last time is going to be default chat ID. We have to find the chat ID. So const is equal to await chat dot find one from user, whatever user we are, and there is sender ID, and connect under the connected users we have the receiver ID. So actually we are going to find the chat ID only, so we don't need the receiver ID. So here after that, okay, if we don't get the chat ID, then we return a chat not found error, and if we got the chat ID, then simply, yeah, we have to save that. So like this, new message is new message, chat ID is going to this one, the chat dot underscore ID, sender ID, our user ID, receiver ID. We got the receiver ID of the second user from the front end, and the message. Message is going to be string, and await and save it. New message dot save. Okay. After saving, simply return it. So return response message sent, and yeah, this is our function, and we have to make this function in the here send message. So make it like this one. So for that, in the send message, create a new function const send message is equal to async, and it's not going to be a like a API route. We have okay, what we have here is okay. This is the send, and we have a receiver ID and message from the request.body. So we have to found that. So this is going to be receiver ID and message. Okay, and after that, we need the also the sender ID here. So we need sender ID. So make it here. Not the first is going to be sender ID, second is receiver ID. Then we need the message. And if we see in the messages, okay, we have the sender ID, and after that we simply save that. So yeah, we don't need, we also need the chat ID. Okay, so here chat ID, and try, okay, we have to import the message. So const message is equal to require mode from the models messages, and here in the messages we have to copy, and the chat ID is going to be this one. We have the receiver ID, that is going to be this one, and we have the sender ID and the receiver ID. That's it, and we have the message. Okay, and simply after that save it, and module.exports send message. Okay, so after it, in the messages, so let's make it like this. It's not gonna like that. And here we have to remove this one. Okay, okay, we have in the send message, simply make it under okay, like this, copy it and make it under the try catch block. Here the simply the console.log the error we got and simply paste it. Okay, and after that return message, that is message sent, and in the here, okay, like this, and we have to remove it, and here const send message, from the controller we need the send message, and in the send message await send message, and we need the sender ID, receiver ID, chat ID, and the message. Okay, and it's going to be const message is equal to like this, and here we return the message, whatever message we got. So after it, I think it's work. Oh, okay, this is the message, so remove this, we don't need it here, and yeah, that's it. So here, this one is working, I think. So we have to mix, we have, so we have to integrate it in the front end. So go to src, go to pages in the chat.tsx. So we have to add a const send message is equal to async, and it's going to be const response is equal to await fetch data, and we send method is going to be post, and in the body we need the receiver ID. So for that, okay, in the send button make a on click, and here it's going to be send message like this, and yeah, for the on click, so we have to make a receiver ID here, a user state of receiver ID. So receiver ID and set receiver ID, and that's going to be a string. And we have this is the chats. When we click the chat, and when we click the chat, so we need the chat ID also. We need the chat ID, so we can found the chat from that ID. We have to get all the messages as well, not only to send the message. Okay, for that we have to also make a new route, and that route is going to be get message. So make it, first of all, make it send message, and it's going to be msg like this, and create a uh, new route called get msg.js like this. Okay, yeah. So in the get message, also the same thing. We need the express, from the express, and also we need the router. From the express router, module dot exports the router, and here we need the messages require, and also the chat, and also the user, and after that also the is authenticated, yes, and after that router dot get, and that's going to be get msg. The right thing is authenticated. We have a sync, request, and response. So here we need that chat ID. So okay, in the message.js we made a mistake here. That is, we don't need this chat ID. Actually, this chat ID, okay, we need this one. If you can see, after refreshing it in the chat, you can see of each connected user has a unique ID. So we need this ID instead of the whole chat ID to store the messages in the message schema. So okay, we need that chat ID. So for that, in the chats, okay, we have a ID for each connected user. So for that, from the get message, let me try and catch block. So here it's going to be console.log the error, and the return response dot status, and the error is internal server error. Okay, and here we have to find from the front end. Okay, from front end we got this chat ID. Okay, and nothing is, we got this one. Okay, so for that, here const chat ID is not from the request.query. We got it, okay, from the query, because this is a get method. So from query, we got the chat ID, and the chat ID is going to this one. Okay, so okay, after that, after finding the chat ID, we have to set that chat ID as well. So here is going to const chat is equal to await chat dot find one, and that is going to be connected users dot user dot underscore id, and that's going to be chat id like this. And if not, then we return the chat not found, and after that const messages is equal to await, and it's going to be message dot find every message, and we sort it from the latest one. So we have to find the every message that has this chat ID from the chat ID. So this is the chat ID. We need that. So first of all, here return message, a message sent, and we have to fix this as well. And get message, this one. And after we got the messages, so return response dot status 200.json, and whatever messages we have, so we simply return that message. Okay, okay, in the send message, this is the send message, and we have to find the API. Oh, so this is the API, and for the receiver ID, we find the receiver ID from the user of the receiver ID because we send the receiver ID. Okay, and we also have to send the chat ID. So basically, we found the chat ID from where? We found chat ID. Okay, so make it like this, chat ID, and like this. Yeah, and this one is going to be like this. Yeah. So after that, set message, chat ID, sender ID, receiver ID, and message. And that's it. I don't think any error. We have to find that after that. So get for the get message, we need the chat ID and we have the chat ID. Okay. So okay, let's make it in the front end. This is the receiver ID and we also have to make a const chat ID. So this one is going to be set chat ID like this, and we have to make a huge effect for that. So in the send message, okay, make it like this, and here create a huge effect, and in this huge effect we don't use the socket.io for now. So for that uh, we made a get message, so const get message is equal to a sync, yeah, like this, and we need const response is equal to a wait the fetch data, and we have get message like this, and this is going to be a get method, and in body we don't send anything. In body we don't send anything, yeah, but we need the chat ID in the query parameter. So for that make it, and here it's going to be question mark chat ID is equal to the chat ID. Okay, chat ID. So in the send message, you can see in the get message, sorry. So from the request.query, we need the chat ID. So this is the chat ID here, and it's going to be empty and the chat ID. Whenever the chat ID changes, this one is work. So again, the get message const response is equal to await fetch data, and get message the authorization we have, we send the empty body here. So yeah, and then yeah, if the response is 200, then this one, and we call this get message here. So yeah, let's try it in the inspect and go to the network. If we refresh, we get the chat ID, that is cannot get. How the chat ID worked here? So actually in the index.js we have to import out that. So app.use, first is get message and second is only the send. Okay, and this one is going to send a message. Okay, let's try it. Refresh it. We got nothing here, cannot get message. Hmm. So basically whenever we click on the list, so this is the list, and we have the chat.id, and the chat.id is basically, okay, this is the id, and here this one is going to be like this. If I'm not wrong, simply console.log dot underscore id. First to refresh it, you can see we have BB7 and 409. So in the console, if we got that, yeah, we got that. And again, after that, when we on click, so we have to make a on click. So we have to set the chat ID. We, we have to set the chat ID with that chat ID. So chat dot underscore ID. Okay, that is the chat ID. So we click on this one. You can see we have the chat ID, but cannot get MSG. So get MSG router dot get, but it says cannot get. Why? And index.js we imported it like this. Sorry, that's my mistake. We have to remove this from here, and also from the send message we have to remove this from here, and in the index.js also make it like send message. And refresh this page. We got an internal server error. If we click here, we got an empty error because we don't have any message yet. So in the front end, okay, when the this one is the right side for, so whenever the chat.id, so we have to create a new one called const messages and set messages like this, and remove this one. And also we have to set the receiver ID. We didn't set the receiver ID yet. So for that, in here, where, yeah. So here, make set receiver ID is going to be the chat.user. Chat.user is the receiver ID, if you can see. Yeah. Receiver ID is selected, and yeah. So here we got an error for this one. So make it any. And yeah, let's refresh it. Yeah, that's it. And after that, we have to call the function of the chat ID. So whenever the chat ID get message, so whenever the chat ID refreshed, the get message function called. Okay. So for that, we can do one more thing like this. It do the same thing. User, and you can see we have the get message. So the get message function do one more thing. Whenever the data dot status is equal to 200, it set message to response dot data, whatever it has, like this, yeah. And the receiver ID is setted, okay. And we have to make a send message for that. So now create a send message, and you can see in the send message, we got receiver ID, message, and chat ID from the request.body. So for the message, set message, and okay, this is, so make it const string, make it a string, set a string, and that is type of a string. Make it MSG. It's, yeah, it's great, MSG. And here in this input box, value is going to be MSG, and also we need the on change event. So the on change event, we have the event, and set the MSG to e dot target dot value. Yeah, like this. Yeah. And here in the send message, okay, what we need, receiver ID, message, and chat ID. So we first of all we need the receiver ID. Copy this one, paste it here, the receiver ID. Okay, we got. And also we need the chat ID. So the chat ID and the message and the authorization and token. Okay, if the response is like this, so send message. Okay, we don't call the get message, set message. If the response is 200, then set the message. Okay, simply and send message. So in the here send message like this. Yeah. So let's try it. Refresh this one. If we user 2, then you can select. We have the user 2 right now. And okay, whenever the user is selected, so we need the user name as well. So yeah, we can find out that later. Here we can send a message called hi, and you can see if we send, okay, cannot post slash send. So that's not the slash send, it's send msg like this. Refresh it, select the user 2, send a message called hi and send. Yeah, you can see our message is sent. We didn't get any response. In the send message, we have a response. Whatever the message got the response. So message is message sent. So what's the error here? Or there is no error. Let me open the MongoDB Compass, and here in the chat app we have messages. Okay, we don't have any messages yet. Okay, for that I think like this. And in the send message, simply make it like this, new message dot send, and it's going to be a message called message sent. Okay, that's it. I think the receiver ID, this one is receiver ID. Like this, we have to check the message here. Re, okay, we have the wrong receiver ID spelling. So yeah, that's it. And the new message, so we have to import the message as well. Const message, that is models from the messages. Yeah, that's it. We need the chat ID. We don't need the chat here. And chat ID, we found the chat ID from the front end, and delete the send message. Let's try it one more time. So select the user 2 here, hi, send, and again there is an internal server error. Cast error, cast to object ID field for value, type string at path. Okay, so error is I think here in the MSG. Actually, this is message and it's going to be MSG like this. Okay, so refresh the server and let's try again. Refresh the our okay, refresh the page, and here in the user 2 select the user 2 and hi and send. Yeah, we send with message sent. Yeah, that's it. If we refresh now, we can see we have a this one, who is the sender ID, who is the receiver ID, and yeah. So here, if we refresh now and go to the user 2, we have hi and hi, too high. So make it like this. We have the messages, copy this one and make it like this. Okay, text is going to write if gap 1 and okay, text is going to write if okay, we have the receiver ID in the front end, not the sender ID. We found the sender ID in the back end. So for the receiver ID, so we can check it out like receiver ID is not equal to whatever the receiver ID we have. So receiver ID, it is not equal to our receiver ID. Then like this, then this text write is going to be here text write, only then the text is going to write. So make it like this, okay, and remove this div. Okay, let's check it out. Select the user 2. Yeah, the receiver ID is not equal to receiver ID. Okay, then the text is going to be if the message dot receiver ID is not equal to whatever the receiver ID we have, then text is going to be right. What this is going to be like different, like this. Yeah, and let's open one more. Here we have to log in with the user 2 login. So close this one and also this one. We have user. We click the user, but we didn't get anything. So network, if we click the user, we got this, and okay, we got the empty message. The chat ID. Okay, that's why we have a chat ID. Okay, so here we have the chat ID. There is a mistake in the schema. So in connected users, we need the underscore ID is to be same for every users that is connected to that chat ID. So for that, we can make it like in the add user, we have to change it here. So after saving the first one, we can make a const add user like this. And here, this is going to be new connected user dot connected users, and this one, yeah, dot, and yeah. So we need the new connected user, whatever user we saved it here, we need that connected user to find the related to the user ID. So for that we have to make it to a string and compare it with triple equal to, and also make the user ID to string like this, yeah. And after it, here in the push, we can use the underscore ID, and it's going to be if the add user, okay, if the add user is available, make it like this. If the add user is available, then this, otherwise undefined. Okay, and same thing is going to be here. Simply copy and paste. Yeah, now it's gonna work. So let's open this, add a user, user 2, add user, yeah, user is added, and add a user 3 as well. This is user 3, add user, user 3 is added. And if we go to the send message, okay, this is the send message, and I don't think we have to do anything. So select the user 2, and here send a message, hi. Okay, you can see message is sent, and here login with the user too, because we send the message to the user too. So after okay, go- we got some error here for the login, invalid credential. Okay, this is the user login. Okay, close this one and also this one. You can see we have a user. Click here and you can see we have the message for the sended by the user. So let me refresh it and we have to log in it again. So our chat system is working. If we click on the here, you can see here. Yeah. So our chat system is working right now without any error. And again for the get message, yeah, that's it. So we have to define a UI for it. Okay, so let's remove this upper div and this closing tag of that div. Okay, after that, in this parent div, we have to make some changes. So make width is going to be full and make it flex. Okay, and receiver ID is not equal to receiver ID, then text is going to write. Actually, make it where it goes. Yeah. So actually make it justify and yeah, like it justify and yeah, that's it for that. And in the paragraph tag, text is going to large and remove this blue 400 from here. Py is 2, px is 4, rounded is medium, and also make it like this and this, yeah. So this and this, yeah. So also after that, and make its width, the maximum width is going to be 60%. So the maximum width is 60%, and dollar sign this one curly braces if message dot receiver ID. Okay, message dot receiver ID is not equal to, okay, it's not equal to the receiver ID we have, then and otherwise make it is going to in the right, make the background color is orange. Yeah, orange 400, and here make the background color is blue, not here, it's under this bg blue 400. Okay, so let's check it out. Yeah, you can see I got a message, so it showed up in the left side and uh, orange background. And let me log in with this, and if I send a message, then it's going okay. There is an error here. The maximum width is going to be 60. Okay, so it's fixed, and you can see I sent a message that is appeared on the right side, and okay, let me make it large text. Yeah, it appeared on the right side, and if I log in with the user 2 that received the message, so let's see the user 2 received the message. Click here, you can see the user 2 received the message. It appears on the orange color and in the left side of the chat box. So yeah, that's it for today's video. In this video, we created a message API and also integrated that API, also modified background color of the sent and received message UI, and yeah, that's it. And in the upcoming videos, we are going to add the socket.io in it, and then we are going to deploy it. So subscribe my channel, like this video, and share this video with your friends. And if you want the source code of this project, then get it from the GitHub link in the description. Also follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, or links in the description. Thank you.